Hi everyone, welcome to the second tutorial video from the Agotapop illustration page of free items. We did the little gingerbread man yesterday. Today we have this really pretty design with leaves, holly and different things. I'm going to start with the holly actually and then move on to the other items. So I'm going to start with the sharpening a pencil. I'm going to start with juniper green, using my Polychromos again, and I'm going to start doing the base of each of the pieces of holly. What I want to do is to get quite a dark base and then fade it up a little bit so that we can sort of fade the holly up to the tip. So I'm just putting a few layers down at the bottom and then spreading that colour up gently so that it fades towards the tip of the holly like that. And we'll come back and add in other colours later, other greens I should add, not just any old colour, not an orange or it's going to be conventional. That's a bit heavy there. So I'm sort of getting used to using this paper again. I haven't used it for ages. So it's not very toothy. So the pencil can slide on the surface a little bit. So it just takes a bit of getting used to. And it's nice not to have such a toothy paper. You don't have to put down a million zillion layers like you do with really toothy paper. But it just takes some getting used to. There we go. We'll do the ones on this side as well before we grab our next colour. Now holly comes in quite a few different colours, so you don't have to stick to a particular one thinking that's holly colour. Obviously there's a sort of traditional colour that people tend to use, but we don't have to. There is sort of variegated varieties as well that aren't just one colour, like as there is with ivy, so you can mix it up a bit. And I'm not sure what this other leaf is on here. I'm thinking it might be mistletoe. It's a little bit, it's not really long enough in the leaf for mistletoe, but it's really pretty. I'm just trying to decide on my next colour. I was going to do something, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with the earth green yellowish, I think. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to just try it. I'm going to go over what I coloured and then just continue that colour through. As I said, it doesn't really matter completely because holly comes in lots of different colours. I just quite like this slightly more yellowed, warmer green tone. Sun shining today, rather nice. I was on the phone to my mum earlier and she said she had me on speaker, so she was holding a phone in her hand and she said she's actually holding it up in front of her eyes to shelter from the sun. It was so bright. It's very low in the sky, of course, in the winter. It means it's often in your eyes. So yeah, it's always tricky when you're out walking. Well, I'm sure driving is worse. I don't drive. But when you're out walking and the sun's low, you think you're going to walk into people. And it's, I guess when you're in the car you have the sun visor you can put down, or hopefully people will do that or wear sunglasses, but when I'm walking I always try not to walk into people. We have very narrow pavements in the town I live in as well, so it's not always easy to avoid people. Now what I want is a colour to pop in between to make the, so that the each of the leaves look separate because they look quite bunched. So I'm just grabbing my dark sepia, and what I'm going to do is pop a little bit in there and there and this one here and here, and it just looks like shadow to help separate them off a little bit. But I am going to do another layer. So I'm going to go back in with my juniper green and just darken it up a little bit, particularly at the bottom. Sometimes once you add your second colour, it can sort of fade your first one down a bit. So it can be sometimes nice just to add a little bit more, just to finish and tidy really. And then I'll do the same with the leaves on the other side. It doesn't take too long to do it. I think it can make quite a difference. It's obviously up to you whether you think you can be bothered. And while I'm doing it, I can try and think about what to do for the other leaves. Yeah, I think I'll do them this colour. I think I use the Permanent Green Olive. I may just use this one colour, but I will see. My idea is to try to put more down here and then less towards the tip. Sort of lighten it. We'll see how it works out. I thought I just heard the post and I realised I couldn't have done. There's no post today. It's there's a strike. There's various strikes now. I tried to post everything really early because I just didn't know when they would be on strike. Apparently there are millions of letters piling up because we've already had so many strikes. So I don't know how long things are taking now. But yeah, I wanted to post my Christmas cards really early to make sure people got them in time, which is what I did. So I'm just fading out towards the tip. And you could use several colours in this little space, and it actually looks, this colour looks really similar to the mix of those two, doesn't it? But anyway, it's fine. There we go, and down here. Now, I did explain yesterday I'm using a paper called Bristol Board, which is fairly thick and designed for pencil use, and it's not very toothy, but it is quite thick for my printer. My printer only just sort of manages it. So people are always interested in what paper you might be used for these things. So that's what I use. Okay, there's our greenery. I want to do our berries next. What colour should we use today? Let's start with this one. This is the Scarlet Red, and then we might add a darker one after. So all the way around several times to build up some layers, and then come in and do less layers and less and less, and keep doing less layers until you get into the middle. You want to try and avoid is just one really dark line around the edge and then a lighter bit in the middle. You want a sort of graduation of colour coming around. It's not that easy, it's something that needs practice, and sometimes it's easier if you have more than one colour, which I will probably do actually. So this is just my first layer. And I'm sort of doing the same thing on all of them really, trying to do more layers on the outside than the middle. The idea of doing that is because then it looks more spherical. It sort of tricks the eye a little bit. I'm going to grab a darker, I'm going to grab the dark red and just do a little bit on them too. Particularly here where they meet. Just a little touch and around the edge, just to overemphasise that sort of darker area and sort of scumble it in to mix it in with the colours there already. And try not to go out the lines, but I will. so you can keep me company and go out the lines as well, make me feel better. There we go. Now I'm going to just go back in with the Scarlet Red and just mix that in. That wasn't my plan originally, but when I sat back and looked at it, I thought that needs mixing in a bit. So that's what I have done. Next stop is stars. We haven't got a lot of space to play with. I think I'm going to use a little bit of green gold and then a little bit of another colour. So I'm going to go around the edge with the green gold. On all of them. Like that. Then grab the, oops, I can't get hold of it. This is the dark Naples ochre. I'm just going to sharpen. I haven't done the little star. I'm too anxious to get on with the next bit. Hold on. Let's do the green gold on the little star first. My mind was racing ahead of myself. There we go. Then go in with the dark Naples ochre and go over what you've done and bring that colour in a little, leaving some white right in the middle of your star. There we go. That isn't the end of the stars, but that's all we're going to do at this moment. We're going to move on to our presents. Colours, I know. I'm going to do a red present first. And we're going to do this one with red wrapping paper. So I'm using the dark red that I used before. And I'm going to make it darker around the edge of the present. Like that. And then around the bottom. Then I'm just going to scumble that in a bit and fade it towards the centre. Just keep fading and fading. Less and less layers. There we go. And the same with this one. And take it all the way to the centre. There. Now the other one I'm going to do in a green. I'm going to use the juniper green, I think. We're just then therefore keeping to quite a limited colour palette. The bows on both presents are going to be the same. I think that'll be a little bit easier. And it'll sort of tie them together a little bit too. Oh, I think the heating has come back on. Oh, I must go and get my cup of tea in a minute before I start another video. So it'll be cold. Let's tidy up that corner. I'm finding it hard to see again. Okay, we're going to do the bows in the gold. Oops. In the gold combo. So I'm going to start with the green gold. Do a little bit here and a little bit here, bottoms there, like that, a bit here and a bit here, bottoms there, each end of that loop. Then the dark Naples ochre, continue this up, but leave a little bit of white. Leaving white is key when you're trying to make something look shiny. So again, even on these ribbons, leave a little bit of white. and it'll help them look shinier. Okay, now although this is very small, we're going to add a little bit of pen. We're going to get some gold glitter pen. This is the number 703. Go around the edge of each star. I don't talk when I do pen very much. It takes more concentration. And then around the gold on these as well, I think. Big shine. Okay, I'm going to use the Gellyroll 05 to put some shine on the berries. And a little bit on the holly. I'm going to have to scribble it. The end's got a little bit blocked. Excuse me. Really do need my cup of tea. It's very pale. I think I'm going to get a better white, a thicker white. This is my Posca. There we go. Probably put a little bit on each one of these as well. Just to make the leaves look a little bit waxy and shiny. I'm going to go over this too because it's a bit pale. Could put a bit on the other side. We could keep putting white all over it, or we could just stop. I am going to put, where are those Stardust pens? I'm going to put a little bit of red around the present, the red present. So this is number 719. Like that. And then a little bit of green around the other present. This one I've chosen is 729. There we go. I'm not going to do any around the leaves or anything because they wouldn't have it, you know. And I shall just tip it so you can see. Oh, sorry, it's going a bit blurred. See the shine. There you go. So there is our next little little picture from this group of 4. So that's that was a lot of fun, I think. Anyway, I do like doing greenery. Yes, so we've got 2 left. So we're already halfway through. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.